way. Not now. We'll get it later.
Over there, 4th Street. So you go.
I should get one of those. Maybe I'll get one of those.
What?
Uncle Brian,
Yeah.
Dad, I have no ice cream.
Worn out, just like I told you. I like it. Probably going to end up losing some money. It's a good lesson for me.
Alright, so this is... So we're like in between them right now. So this is Jeanette Franken over here, the first woman congressman. She was in Congress during the start of World War II, and she was the only person to vote against going into World War II. And her reasoning was, since she was not eligible to go in the draft, she could not justify sending other people into the draft to go into war. Big one here, this is the Statue of Freedom. This is what you will see on the top of the Capitol building. This is the cap, it's 19.5 feet tall, biggest statue in DC. I think it's Lincoln is the second tallest. I think he's around 19 even. Simplify the original 13 colonies. She's got a wreath and a shield in this hand and a sword in the other one. The cloth around the sword is supposed to show that she does not want to go to battle, but she will if she has to. Finished, and this was originally the outside of the Capitol building. As you can see, it's a little rougher, a little less. Time that this was in use, there were 7 justices in the tall chairs, and then 2 on the end were clerks, so they would work for the court. So down here is where the lawyers would argue their cases and everything, and the red couches are said to be where the wives would sit of the justices if they came with them that day.
All day long just sitting there.
Yeah.
Until what year that they used this one to meet? Until what year?
So this was in use from 1810 to 1860.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that, it became a law library, and then it got restored back to this for historical purposes. And in the back there, I don't know if you can see it, but that's the Supreme Court.
Why she doesn't want to let go of that thing?
Yeah, well, type stuff. That's the original architect loved to work that into his architecture. So you can see along the pillars, it's like horn stop type stuff.
Very nice.
That's from the War of 1812 when the British stormed the Capitol, and they shot it up and tried to burn it down. Luckily, they did not succeed.
It's true.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few.
So the interns, this is part of your thing here to get tours?
and they're all breaking apart. So you can see the center of it's kind of caved in. That's because a lot of the congressmen back in the day would walk over it and they would like, click their heel on it. That was like a thing like good luck. It's like good. We're gonna go into the old House chamber and the old Senate chamber upstairs, and this was the best way to get to it. But
You're told to get over here. Have you ever seen like?
so this replica was gifted to us from Great Britain. This is what our Constitution is based off of. It's pretty amazing.
And it's railing against the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which is going to allow the states to choose if they're going to be brought into the Union as a slaveholding state or a free state. Kansas ends up submitting a constitution for being a slave state, and Sumner gives this kind of just amazing speech. It's over like 2 days. It's super long, but he's very articulate. But he does end up insulting some of the original authors of the Kansas-Nebraska Act. And one of the authors has a relative in the House of Representatives, a gentleman by the name of Preston Brooks. It's from South Carolina. And Preston Brooks takes such offense to the speech and his relative being called out that he feels Sumner needs to have some retribution of some kind. He actually consults with some of his friends on the House about how to duel and what he needs to do, and they decide that dueling is for gentlemen and Sumner does not deserve that, and so they decide he needs to be beaten. And what happens, Preston Brooks actually walks on behind the desk and starts to beat Charles Sumner with his cane. He goes for about a minute and a half. Charles Sumner is so badly beaten. It takes him it takes him 3 years to actually recover. Preston Brooks, it's decided the House has to be in charge of disciplinary since he was a member of the House, and the vote for the action actually fails the House. But in order to avoid any further trouble, Preston Brooks actually resigns his seat. He wins the special election as a write-in vote from South Carolina to get his seat back, but actually ends up passing away before he can take the seat from an unrelated illness. About 3 years after, Senator Sumner comes back and actually picks up right where he left off with civil rights. He submits several bills to pass civil rights for against separate but equal, saying that's constitutionally against the republic, and starts right back into where he left off.
So he was a big advocate for slavery. He was against the abolishment of it, and they put this in here right after they lost the Civil War. So this was kind of like Mississippi was very upset, so they kind of put him in here.
Right.
And kind of to cancel it out, they put Rosa Parks in right across over there, and they're just staring at it.
Easy came and easy went. Mama said there's days like this. Count your blessings in the way.